Hi, I'm John Paul Martin, the Warning Coordination Meteorologist with NOAA's National Weather Service in Bismarck, encouraging you to attend skywarn spotting in your community when the National Weather Service comes out for that, or viewing severe weather safety online at National Weather Service website, or through videos like this. National Weather Service website, www.weather.gov. To talk to you about that. So skywarn training really, and if you're here just because you're interested in weather, that's a good reason to be here. If you're interested in learning about weather safety, that's a good reason to be here. Whatever reason you're here for is a good reason to be here, right, Mary? But ideally, what we're hoping to do today is to have some new severe weather spotters. And not to say we don't need spotters in Bismarck, but in larger cities, we have 24-hour fire protection, 24-hour a day police protection. So if it's happening in Bismarck, Mandan, Dickinson, Williston, chances are we're going to hear about it. But boy, if you're out of town, if you're out on the farm or the ranch, or just living out of town in a small town, up in Wing, for example, we don't have very many severe weather spotters in the Wing area. So we would absolutely, it'd be a thrill to have you sign up. Regan, Wilton, we have quite a few, but you get my point. You know, wherever you are, Sterling, whatever, we need weather spotters. Again, if you're out of town, most important to us, because again, if it's happening in town, your chances are we're hearing about it. So volunteers like you, we're going to train you to observe and report severe weather and stay safe, of course. And the purpose is to support the National Weather Service mission, which is to protect life and property. That's our mission, is the protection of life and property, but we need help doing that. Here's some of the different groups that are involved in this. The North Dakota Department of Emergency Services, local emergency management like Gary, like Mary, the firefighters here. In small towns, volunteer firefighters will oftentimes take the truck out of town up on the hill outside of town to spot severe weather as it's coming in. Amateur radio operators, like Bruce is here. Law enforcement. Any law enforcement folks here? Law enforcement. Very good. So I have a sheriff's badge there, but any type of law enforcement, highway patrol, we have any type of law enforcement. We have border patrol now. Folks who have come in from the south, from Texas, Louisiana, to help on our border, who were severe weather spotters down there, who have contacted the office and said, hey, I'd like to be a spotter for you. Now they're more mobile, right? Because they're driving along the border, things like that. If you do sign up to be a skywarn spotter, what is the commitment? Well, it's to be proactive with phone calls to the National Weather Service. In other words, you have a thunderstorm go through your place, and you have some hail, you have some wind, you have tree branches broken, that you're going to give us a call and report that severe weather. And also expect an occasional call from us. In other words, if we don't hear from you, we're going to call you. What we would do is, if you're a spotter for us, we'll plot you on a map, and we can move the cursor over the dot where you are, and your information will come up. Name, phone number, address. And then if we see a thunderstorm went through your area, we may call you and say, hey, it looks like a thunderstorm went through. We were thinking there was some hail or wind in that. Did you have any hail? Did you have any wind? All right? Now, we promise not to call you at 3 o'clock in the morning. Right? We won't call you at 3 o'clock in the morning. We'll wait till about 4:30 or 5 when we know you're up. Then we'll give you a call. But we are 24/7. We are day and night. There's always no fewer than 3 people working at the weather office out on the airport property. When you hear the weather forecast, when you get up at 7 in the morning and you hear the weather forecast, that was prepared on the midnight shift. All night long they were preparing to get that forecast ready for you. Okay, so there's always 24/7 people there. And let me tell you this, in case you're concerned about this. We have this thing called a sequester that has affected the National Weather Service, just like any other federal agency. So far, the Weather Service has put on a hiring freeze. Right now we have 2 positions open. One position has been open for about 15 months. The person retired. That position is now being filled. It should be here next month. But a lead forecaster retired in February under the hiring freeze, and that position will not be filled this fiscal year, meaning until at least October 1st. The other proposal is, they've tried saving all the money they can, and it still isn't enough. And so they're proposing, the National Weather Service is proposing a 4-day furlough of every National Weather Service employee. So I'll be off with no pay. I know you feel sorry for me. I'll be off for no pay up to 4 days. Now, need to specify though, the office in Bismarck will not shut down. It will not close. What they'll do is, me and 2 or 3 other people will be off for these 4 days. 2 or 3 other people will be off for those 4 days. 2 or 3 other people off for those 4 days. You see what I'm saying? The office will not close. Will not close. But there will be staffing reduced for up to 4 days between now and September 30th. All right. Okay. So again, expect an occasional call from us, but we would really like you to be proactive, and we'd like to hear from you. You want to report the facts as you know them to the best of your ability. Now, even if you don't sign up to be a weather spotter, even if you don't, and you just feel, well, something important happened. I was driving down the highway coming back from Fargo, and when I was in near Steele, I ran into some hail. And you say, I want to tell the Weather Service about that. You don't have to be a trained severe weather spotter for us to call us and say, hey, I was on Interstate 94 near Steele, 5 o'clock this afternoon, and I ran through some pea-sized hail or something like that. You don't need to be a severe weather spotter to do that. Anybody can do that, right? We ask you to call us. Again, this number is really reserved for official trained spotters, 1-800-247-0212. But you can call us at 223-4582, and that's on the card over there for you, that phone number. Say, hey, just wanted to let you know that I was driving on Interstate 94, 5 o'clock this afternoon, and near Steele, I ran into this hail. It's very important to us to know that. Your report could be the first indication that there is severe weather. In other words, I may not know that there's severe weather. I may think it's pea-sized hail that you're getting. And in reality, it's the size of a golf ball, the hail. All right? So your report could be the first indication that there's severe weather. You help me decide what to do. I might be ready to issue a warning for northern Burley County, because I think the thunderstorm is producing big hail and high wind. And then I get a call, 15 miles west of Wing, and the call is pea-sized hail and 40-mile-an-hour wind. I'm going to tell the forecaster, hold up, don't issue the warning. The storm is not as bad as we thought it was. So you're helping me decide what to do. You also add lead time and credibility to the warning. In other words, if I could say that the Divide County Sheriff reported this event, hail, high wind, a tornado, whatever it is, people hearing that are going to stand up and say, gee, it's the sheriff's deputy that reported that. And so I really believe it's happening. They wouldn't lie. They wouldn't make up a story. And so there adds credibility to the information, credibility to the warning. Can also add lead time, because maybe I would have issued that warning anyway. Even without your report, maybe I would have issued the warning, but maybe I would have waited 5 minutes to issue it. So you're allowing me to get that warning out 5 minutes sooner. You're giving people 5 minutes more to take action. And again, the National Weather Service is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Call us any time of the day or night. Here's our county warning area, our area of responsibility. We have responsibility for 36 counties in western and central North Dakota. 36 counties. It's a tremendous area to forecast and warn for. And there are 122 National Weather Service offices across the country. We are one of 122. And of those 122, this is the 9th largest land area that we're responsible for. So we go from the Canadian border down to the South Dakota line, and we go from the Montana border through Towner and Rugby, but not to Devil's Lake. We go through Bismarck, Steele, Jamestown, but not to Valley City. The eastern part of the state is covered by the Grand Forks office. Then there's Aberdeen, South Dakota as an office, Rapid City, Billings, and Glasgow, Montana. All right? So that's our county warning area. What we do is during severe weather operations in the summertime, say for example we have thunderstorms up in the Williston, Minot area, and another batch of thunderstorms between Bismarck, Jamestown, and Ellendale down here. We'll sectorize. We have warning teams. This warning team, you take the storms up around Williston.
Thank you for watching. Continued in Part 2. Videographed by Matthew Kronberger. If you enjoyed the presentation, comment and subscribe to my YouTube channel at Matthew Kronberger, Bismarck, North Dakota.